I want to first start by thanking everyone for coming out tonight for the reorganization meeting. But before we begin the formal part of the event, I would like to ask everyone to please take a stand. For the past couple of months, we've had a very, I would say, very many losses as team members from our district. And I want to name the few that have passed in the past couple of months, in the month of December and January. And I would like to ask you guys, after I finish, to give them a moment of silence on their behalf. First one, and I think probably everyone knows this one, is Christine Janishevsky. She was known as Ms. D at School 22. Susana Garcia Villarino, teacher at school number 16. We have Beverly Rogers, which is a retired teacher from school number 2. And John Mark Dunn, which is a former teacher from school 50. A few of these teachers were very young and were taken from us at an early age. Very young children are now motherless because of these losses, and I think it's something that we should all come together as a community, as a school district, and as a family that we are, and try to help these families as much as we can, and definitely keep them in our prayers. So please, at this moment, let's provide them a moment of silence. Thank you very much, everyone.
Good evening. I would like to thank everybody for coming down tonight. It's a very special night for the Board of Education. You may sit down. We have a very nice event going down tonight. I would like to thank every single one of the elected dignitaries. I see we have a senator, we have the assemblywoman. I don't want to call names, City Hall or a councilman, councilwomen. Also, we have our administrators. We have the community, family, and friends. Thank you very much for your assistance, and hopefully this will repeat this event every year because it's a very special moment for the board, for our children, and for the people that serve the board. Thank you very much. Now we're going to continue with our program. Could everybody stand up? We're going to have our invocation. It will be presented by our Dr. William Green, our controller.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. Oh God, our Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gathering of us together. Thank you for bringing us into a new year, oh God. And now, oh God, we pray for your presence, that you will guide us in all that we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Now we have presentation of colors for annual William Halsey Junior Leadership Academy. We proudly present them right now. I will ask Mr. Trujillo, one of our senior board members, to present the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Star Spangled Banner by Francis Scott Key.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I would like to ask everybody to remain seated. I'm going to ask our superintendent and leader to lead us through the pledge of ethics, please.
As a member of the Elizabeth Public Schools professional learning community, I will treat people as I wish to be treated. To do that, I pledge to understand that the school community is a special place, listen respectfully when someone else is speaking by paying close attention and not interrupting, speak in a calm voice and use proper language, dress appropriately for teaching and learning, inspire the rest of myself and others by celebrating successes and learning from mistakes, care about others by demonstrating acts of kindness, lead a lifelong learner by taking every opportunity to learn from others.
For this video, we're going to be showing that.
Equity is a fundamental requirement for educational excellence and high expectations for student achievement. We believe all students can learn and achieve at high levels, regardless of race, ethnicity, culture, neighborhood, household income, or home language. All means all. We will narrow the achievement gaps of students by providing a high-quality education to ensure that all of our students are college and career ready.
Not forgetting of the importance of maintaining our commitment to helping every child achieve excellence. Helping every child achieve excellence.
We believe teachers make a positive difference in student achievement. Teachers will prepare all students for success in college, career, and our technological global society. We believe that teachers are essential in a child's life. Having an effective teacher is the single most important factor in student success. We believe that effective leaders demonstrate unwavering commitment to high levels of achievement for all students.
But wherever you go, whatever you decide to do, take advantage, be the yes, Seize the opportunity. When you do that, make sure when you stand on this podium 50 years from now, you can say, I took advantage of every opportunity they gave me because I was the yes.
Leaders will exemplify and support practices that promote high levels of achievement for all students.
Dream often, dream big, and let your dreams be determined by your choices and never by your circumstances, and never, ever, ever give up. Congratulations and continued success to all of you.
We believe that parents and caregivers are both valued partners and active participants in their children's learning. A shared sense of mutual responsibility for learning is the foundation for family involvement to ensure student success. We are committed to engaging parents and caregivers in their children's education. We will develop a coordinated strategy that enables parents and caregivers to play an active role in building and sustaining family support for their children's learning and academic success. We believe that every member of the Elizabeth Public Schools team has a responsibility in producing and supporting high levels of achievement for all students. Every member of the Elizabeth Public Schools team will make a measurable contribution to the success and achievement for all students by ensuring equitable distribution of resources throughout the organization.
Turn the meeting to Mr. Bob Kennedy. He's going to be conducting the special event that we're holding tonight, and congratulations to the new elected board members.
First one to be sworn in will be Anna Marie Amin.
Thank you. Before we have the swearing-in ceremony, I have a presentation to make. I received a gift from President William Jefferson Clinton of his selected remarks for 2014, and I want to present this to Superintendent Ugemeyer for the high school library. Now for the main event. Let's see, put your left hand on the Bible, and let me get over here. Do we have somebody hold this? Oh, there you go. All right, that works better. Excuse me, I think I'm more nervous than you are. I state your, raise your right hand. Okay. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, so help me God. All right, that's only half of it. We have a half, where to go? Okay, I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education, and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to a revised statute NJSA 19:4-1, that I am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18:12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Felicitación. Okay, Anne Marie. All right, Marie. Well, I'm going to get that confused. Where's Marie? Maria. Where'd she go? Maria, are you in the room? There she is. Maria, come on. Sergio.
Anybody else want to come up here? You're all welcome. You are a part of this, you're all welcome to come up if you want. Come on. Where's my soccer moms, my PDC family? Just stand behind my family.
I state your name.
Maria Zacharias Carvalho,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State
and the Constitution of the State
of New Jersey,
of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same and to the governments
and to the governments
established
established
in the United States
in the United States
and this state
under
the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I state your name.
I, Maria Zacharias Carvalho,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess
that I possess
the qualifications
the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member of the Board of Education,
member of a Board of Education,
that I am not disqualified
that I am not disqualified
as a voter pursuant to a revised statute
pursuant to a revised statute
NJSA
NJSA
19:4-1,
19:4-1,
that I am not disqualified
that I am not disqualified
due to conviction of a crime
due to conviction of a crime
or offense listed
or offense listed
in NJSA
in NJSA
18:12-1,
18:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of that office
of that office
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Bada bang!
And now, Mr. Paul Pereira. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people. I,
Paul Pereira,
do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education, that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to a revised statute NJSA 19:4-1, that I am not disqualified due to a conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A 12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Would the newly elected board members like to say a few words?
Can you check your mic?
This moment is all very humbling to me. I knew that when I came to this country that I will be provided with great opportunities and hopes to fulfill my dreams. It was not always perfect, but I knew that hard work and determination could help overcome most of the challenges that we have experienced in life. Never did I imagine when I stepped off that plane did I know that I won't be here on January 7th, 2015, being sworn into a public office. One that is so important, the education of our children. This nation is a wonderful place, and I thank this great country for the opportunity to serve. God bless America. Those American dreams continue today. As I look at my son, someone that has filled my heart with love and is now one of the 20,000 reasons why I wanted to be a board member for this school district, to represent all the children of Elizabeth so that they can reach their full potential in life. We have much work to do, but we can get it done by working together for the right reasons, all in a positive direction for the Elizabeth and its kids. I will work with anyone that is sincere in their effort. We owe that to the citizens of Elizabeth. I have an obligation to thank those that have supported me along the way, helping to deliver the large plurality of support that I received, and I wish I am very grateful. Thank you, citizens of Elizabeth, for your support. Thank you to my Latino community that was there for me. Thank you to the parents and teachers that offered me your ideas and feedback on what I could to be an excellent board commissioner. Thank you to those elected officials that support me and help me reach the moment that we are at today. Thank you especially to Senator Lesniak, Mayor Bolwish, for your support. Thank you to the team of running mates, wonderful people who now have the chance to deliver for kids on this board. I would like to let you know that my thoughts are sincere. My agenda is the one that makes this school district one of the best in the whole country. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am honored to have the privilege to stand before you as the newest elected commissioner for the Elizabeth Board of Education. Tonight, together, we have made history here in the city of Elizabeth, and you all know what a journey this has been for me. First and foremost, being up here and honored with this responsibility would not be possible if it wasn't for the countless sacrifices and continuous support of my family. Please stand up. And my cousins are here tonight. There they are. Thank you. Being raised here in Elizabeth from an immigrant family taught me about the importance of dedication and commitment to serving our community. It is it is the very essence of who I am. I am not a politician. I am simply a mother, a wife, a sister, and a daughter who loves her family. And I am passionate about making a difference in the lives of others. Being a proud Portuguese immigrant, I am here committed to being the example for all those who desire, aspire, and believe in change. While conviction is not based on race or ethnic origin, it is about being mindful where you come from and those who helped you become the person you are today. With that, I'd like to acknowledge some of the people that are here, and I do apologize. Like I said, I am not a politician, so I will forget people. I want to acknowledge the councilman of the first ward, Carlos Torres. I want to acknowledge Councilman Gonzalez of the second ward. Councilman Canary, where are you? We walked, and we made it. Councilman Gallman, Patricia Perkins Augusti, Councilwoman. Councilman Cuesta and his wife Karen. Mayor Chris Bowich. Senator Lesniak. Freeholder Granados. Mayor Holly. Assemblywoman Quijano. An Honorable Judge Marshall and his beautiful wife. I could not be here without all of you. The people who worked at... Oh, I forgot you, Manny. I'm in trouble tomorrow. Manny, you weren't on the list because I wanted to thank you and Sergio personally. I would not be here without the two of you and your support. So it is an honor to serve on this Board of Education, but you two woke up in the morning getting yelled at by you and went to bed at night getting yelled by you. Work harder, work harder. To all of my soccer moms, I know you're all here. Paloma, Isabel, Chris, Julie, Judy, Stina, Maria, Lawrence, Michelle, the women who are working for a cause, my EYS family, my Portugal Day family. My Elizabeth Lyons, my Portuguese club family, my team, John Malone, Joanne Malone, and Carlo, and my buddy right here. He yelled at me so much throughout this campaign. I promise I won't do this the next time I get reelected. Malik. I can't talk about Malik because I'll really cry and then I won't get through this and we won't do any business tonight. We got a lot of work to do. Everyone who had a coffee for me, Anna, Jose, Charlene, and Stan, we're going to do really good work together up here. You guys supported me and I promise to support you. Okay, I'm going to finish up. This is my commitment and pledge to you all as I honorably take oath in serving as one of your Board of Education Commissioners. Words cannot begin to express my gratitude to all the people who worked so hard and who have been by my side, giving me strength and reminders of the great good. To all of my family, to you, my friends, and to all of the volunteers, some of whom I never even met. You inboxed me, you called me, for all of the employees at the Elizabeth Board of Education, I thank you. I thank you. Thank you for empowering my belief that our children come first and that the employees of the Board of Education deserve the basic right to work every day, not out of fear, but for their livelihood. But because they too want to make a difference for the children of the city of Elizabeth, to me, there's a difference between fear and respect. I choose to earn your respect by my dedication and service. I give you my word. It is my conviction to have our children come first. This is the very essence of my purpose, my cause for us being here and for us working together for a better tomorrow. Thank you once again for believing in me and for entrusting me with the privilege to serve as your commissioner.
Good evening, everyone. First off, it's been a long road. It's been a long journey. I've thankfully elected to a second term, and I just want to first start by definitely giving much thanks to God, because I think He definitely deserves praise. Always keep Him in my heart. My wife and kids, I spend a lot of time doing this, and it takes away a lot of time from me being at home, watching over my kids, watching them grow. So I definitely want to ask them to please keep understanding that I'm doing it for them. And last but not least, I want to make sure that I thank everyone that came out and helped me and supported me and worked day in, day out during the campaign, before the campaign, and always there to support me and give me either words of wisdom and just keep me energetic and just focused on the task at hand. To the parents, I just want you to know that I'm here. I'll always be here as long as I'm elected, to be your voice, to be available and accessible to you, to convey whatever messages you want to convey to this group sitting here in front of you. I share the same, I think, passion as you do, or goal as a father is to make sure that our kids are successful in their future and they're able to be successful in life. So that's my goal for not only my kids, but for yours as well. And I hope that if I keep that in my heart, it will definitely come true. And to the taxpayers, I just want you to know that I'll be mindful of everyone's struggles. And I hope that the rest of the city, we come together and we work together as a team that we are. We're here to work together. And only together can we make changes. I will always be independent. And I promise to be your voice, as I said. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and thank you for your support.
presenting them with their certificate of election. Now we'll view a brief video on some of the accomplishments of the district.
Oh, come on. Get on with it.
Mr. Kennedy, may I say a few words?
You want to say a few words?
Yes. We just, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for coming out and participating in our meeting. It's really nice to see that the public has taken such an interest in the education of our children. I think, should that be the case going forward, there isn't anything the school district can't do. I want to congratulate the candidates. I want to thank them for having the courage to participate. It is a very rewarding office. We do a lot of great work here. It's very important work. And you're going to sacrifice a lot of your time, and that is very commendable. And I sincerely, on behalf of myself and my family, I appreciate that you have taken the task on, and I look forward to working with you, and hopefully many of the ideas that have been exchanged throughout the campaign can actually come to fruition, and we can actually help unite the city and get behind our children and move the agenda of the children forward. I'd also like to, if I may, I'd like to recognize our former president, Mr. Montero, who I saw here today, and I want to thank Tony for his devotion to this board. As president over the last 2 years, he spent a lot of time doing what he enjoys doing, is serving the people of Elizabeth. As many of you know, Mr. Montero is very successful in the restaurant business, and he has decided that now he wants to work on other problems in the city, and he cannot do that serving in this capacity. So I know that, knowing Tony as well as I know him, I know he'll be just as successful doing that as he is in business and as he was as president of this board. So thank you, Tony, for your commitment to our city and your continued hard work. I wish you much success. I didn't get the opportunity to say it last night because you weren't here. So God bless you, and I thank you again for all you do. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Now we'll officially begin the reorganization meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is the annual reorganization meeting of the Board of Education. Pursuant to New Jersey statutes and the rules adopted by the Board of Education, notice of this meeting was sent to World Community Newspapers, the Star Ledger, and Cablevision of Elizabeth on December 30th, 2014. In addition, this notice is posted on the bulletin board in the lobby of the Mitchell Building, 500 North Broad Street, and pursuant to this act, a copy has been filed with the City Clerk of Elizabeth. There will be a public portion for citizens to address the board. Participants for the public portion must sign in 1 hour prior to the advertised start of the meeting so that they may have the opportunity to speak. The sign-in sheet states the name, address, telephone number, and reason that the person wants to comment, whether it is an agenda item or a general education comment. I'll take the roll. Amin. Bathos.
Present.
Zacharias Carvalho.
Here.
Castillo Espina.
Here.
Fajardo.
Present.
Nera.
Here.
Pereira.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
Trujillo.
Here.
The Education Act requires that at the organization meeting, the board shall elect from its members a president and a vice president who shall serve for terms of 1 year. Nominations will be made from among the membership of the board present. Election shall be by the majority of the vote present and voting, which means this is the majority of the quorum. When nominations are made, they do not require a second. However, in order to close nominations, there must be a motion to second and then a vote to close nominations for the office of president or vice president.
Mr. Kennedy, can I make a motion for president?
Pardon me?
May I make a motion for president?
You don't need to make a motion, just make a nomination.
I nominate Charlene Bathlis.
I'd like to nominate
I nominate Ana Maria Alonso.
also nominate to close nominations.
What were the
Second
what were the
nomination?
I second that.
No, I nominate Rafael Fajardo was the second name.
I nominate Ana Maria Min.
Any others? We have 3.
Make a motion to close the nominations.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Trujillo, seconded by Mr. Pereira. Roll call. Amin.
Mr. Can we say who we
This is
state
just
the
a-
name? Who we
This
want?
is to close the nomination.
Oh, sorry.
So, Amin. Bathurst.
Yes.
Zacharias Cabal.
Carvalho's fine. Yes.
Cabal, thank you. Castilla.
Yes.
Fajardo.
Yes.
Nera.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
So we have 3
Mr. Kennedy, I have a legal opinion that I have to read that directly affects the business of this board and the nominations for president, and I'd like to read it, and I have copies for each board member. The Elizabeth Board of Education
There's a nomination on the
policy
floor.
9126.
Don't we have
There's a
to
nomination
provides-
Don't we have
Mr.
to
Kennedy.
nomination? I'm
Mr.
sorry, I'm
Kennedy.
new at this. Can somebody explain to me?
Mr. Kennedy, before he continues with that statement, we have a nomination. We have to complete the election for president prior to the election. So we cannot make a statement prior to the election. Can we complete the election and allow for him to make a statement?
Your Honor, it is not a statement, it is a legal opinion that directly affects the vote of this board.
It's an opinion. It's an opinion. You can't stop the vote.
I'm not stopping the vote.
Then you make your opinion afterwards.
No.
Can we vote first, please?
We just voted to close the nominations so that
So move it, please.
the vote has not been brought up yet, so I believe Mr. Lehman should read his statement.
Robert's rules! He is not a member of the board.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's only a legal opinion.
He is not
Just
the
like
lawyer.
any other opinion. It's
He
just
is
a-
not the lawyer. He can't give a legal
The
opinion.
Elizabeth Board of Education policy 9126 provides that the board attorney shall be the legal advisor to the board and its officers in questions related to their official duties. It further provides that the board attorney shall give a written opinion on matters referred by the board, the chief school administrator, or the school business administrator. Not long ago, it was revealed that a member of the Board of Education, Jose Rodriguez, is the president of the Watchung Hills Regional Education Association. At a recent board meeting, Mr. Rodriguez...
This is a political statement! This is a political
and talk about a board member and say his name in front of everyone at a public meeting. You have never done that before. Now you want to do it.
Mr. Kennedy, I was elected by the people. Can we please vote? I do not need...
We just finished closing the nominations.
Okay, so we don't need to listen to Mr. Lehman. Can you move
Mr.
on?
Lehman.
I make a motion to vote.
I second that motion.
Let's move forward, Mr. Kennedy.
There's a motion on the floor.
And there's a second.
Call the vote.
I have a question, Mr. Kennedy.
We need order. We need order in the meeting. Mr. Lehman is legal counsel of the district.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Is there
No,
another
he's
attorney
not.
I can get an opinion from, please?
Mr. Lehman, you are advising this board of a legal opinion.
Yes.
Could you please tell us what the legal opinion is, read your legal opinion so that people in this Board of Education know that they have to be guided by law.
You've been up here for 20 years! What are you doing for 20 years?
I would appreciate if you continue me.
You don't know!
If these people in this room do not behave, then there's got to be a way that we can continue the meeting so that we can go ahead with the function of the people's business. This is a democracy. This is not. We're not ruled by a mob.
I'm happy you said that.
Mr. Kennedy.
So I'm happy you said that. Once again, Maria Cavallo had a motion on the floor. Mr. Kennedy, can you recognize that? And I second it. So I need that to be recognized.
Can we vote without hearing the legal opinion?
Yes,
Counsel.
Call the vote.
The legal opinion must be put in the record before a vote is taken?
No. Call the
It's
vote.
not that it's okay. The fact that they're going to say a name in public is illegal.
Call the vote.
You were not given this to read.
Call the vote. Call the vote.
If Mr. Lehman is unable for reasons of decorum to read his legal opinion, he may distribute it. Is it in writing?
Yes, it is.
He may distribute it to all the board members, file it with Mr. Kennedy, and whatever that opinion is will be as binding as if he read it.
I make a motion for that to happen, and we can all vote on that. Mr. Kennedy, please.
Ms. Forte, would you please pass out the legal opinion?
We have it already. Thank you. Mr. Kennedy, can we go to vote now? I second that motion.
We have three candidates. We have three candidates for president of the board. As I read your name, please state the candidate that you are voting for. We have
Who are the three candidates again?
three candidates are Charlene Bathlis, Rafael Fajardo, and Ms. Amin. Ms. Amin, who do you cast your vote for?
One more, going to all the board members.
No. You gotta call the vote.
Ms. Amin, before we vote, I just want to make sure that anyone just want to make sure that all the board members read the letter that was distributed tonight.
Call the vote.
Mr. Kennedy, please.
Ms. Amin,
Please, everyone, please, be respectful. I ask that you be respectful, please, so that we can move forward. I have children that need to go to school tomorrow morning. Mr. Kennedy, please take control of this meeting.
Ms. Amin, who do you cast your vote for? Ms. Bathlis, Mr. Fajardo, or yourself?
Come on, Dan.
I vote for myself.
Ms. Bathlis?
Who nominated her?
I did.
Bathlis.
Mrs. Cabala?
Bathlis.
Ms. Castillo?
I mean,
Mrs. Fajardo? Mr. Nera?
Bathlis.
Mr. Pereira?
Amin.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Ms. Bathos?
Yeah.
Mr. Trujillo.
I mean,
The tally is 5 for Mrs. Amin and 4 for Ms. Bathos. Mrs. Amin is the president.
Trojan horse. I never seen such shit in my life.
Huh?
He wants to slit his throat right now.
He wants what?
You see his face, he wants to slit his throat.
Who did?
George, he wants to slit his throat.
Yeah, now what happens? She going all the way with their agenda too?
Then the next item is nominations for vice president.
I would like to nominate Ms. Castillo.
second the motion.
No seconds are necessary.
I apologize.
I nominate Jose Rodriguez.
Move to close the nominations.
Second.
Move to close nominations by Mr. Trujillo, seconded by Mr. Pereira. Bathos. This is to close the nomination.
It's okay, Charlene.
Right.
We love you, girl.
Your vote to close nominations. Carvalho.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Fajardo.
Yes.
Naran.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin. So we have two candidates for vice president. Ms. Castillo-Spina and Mr. Rodriguez, if you would vote by name. Bathos.
Rodriguez.
Carvalho.
Rodriguez.
Castillo.
Myself.
Fajardo.
Ospina.
Naran.
Rodriguez.
Pereira.
Castillo.
Rodriguez.
Myself.
Trujillo.
Sospina.
Amin.
Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez has 5 votes. Ms. Castillo-Spina has 4. Mr. Rodriguez is the vice president. The next order of business is the adoption of the existing rules of governance.
Move the,
Excuse me. I believe we have a president. Does not the president take over?
No,
The president now takes over now that you've elected the president.
that is correct.
Pardon me?
The president takes over now that you've elected a president.
Yes, she should tell me.
Okay.
Take me through the agenda.
Let her conduct the meeting.
Right.
Madam President, may I make a
Let's
short
move it
comment?
along, Madam President.
No.
Can I make a comment, Madam President?
Yes.
Thank you. First, I just want to say, I know in the extreme cold, I really do appreciate all of you taking time away from your families, your friends, and your lives to come attend this meeting tonight. So for that, I do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's not just cheap words. I really do appreciate it. I know how cold it is, and I want to thank you for that, first off. I would like to start with a quote in the words of Margaret Mead. It says, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." Tonight, we, the freely and justly chosen representatives of the people of Elizabeth, show you the power of the people and what committed citizens can do. Tonight, I pledge to you to aggressively pursue and end waste, incompetence, and ineffectiveness. I pledge to end political appointments and promotions, to end the era of paying for your job with political contributions and kickbacks. A new era where administrators will be able to lead, supervisors will be able to support, teachers will be able to teach, and our support staff will be able to work in a climate free of fear. Thank you. This indeed is a new day, ladies and gentlemen. A new day for our students, a new day for our families, and a new day for our community. And even though some of the things that occurred in the past couple of days and today, remember that it's always darkest before the dawn. So I want to pledge to you all, good morning, Elizabeth, to a new day. Woo! A new day for all, no matter who you voted for. To our 4,000 employees, I say to you, do your job. Do it to the best of your ability. And do right by our students. This district does not exist to create jobs. This district is here to serve our students and the future of our city, of our state, and of our country. What we do here today and every day will have a ripple effect for all of us. How we bring up our children today will determine the world that we live in tomorrow. A place where you will be judged on your actions and work ethic, and not by who you know, or how much you contribute, or how many book by mails you can get. This is only the beginning. There's much work to be done. The road is long and filled with many people who will try to distract us from our goal, which will always be the full education of our children. I want to leave you with a word, with another quote. If you know me, you know I love quotes. In the words of the late, great Mr. Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. And I intend to do just that. Thank you very much.
Before I start, I wanna again thanks to Senator Ray Lesniak and the Mayor Chris Bowles for his support. I'm a person who is about education, and I will do everything in my hands to work with the teachers, the parents, the students, and the administration to give to the students of Elizabeth, the children, the best education possible. Thank you. I want to make a motion to amend the agenda.
I second that motion.
Mr. Kennedy?
Do we have the amended agenda?
Amend what agenda?
The current board agenda.
Yes, I can amend the agenda. I have.
With this?
With new agenda, yes.
Yes, the new agenda.
I can amend the agenda.
Superintendent, did you
review these?
review this?
I have no input into this amended agenda, and as superintendent, I have the role by statute and policy in formulating an agenda, and I have not reviewed this. I am not aware of the contents of this amended agenda.
Speak closer to the microphone, please.
Absolutely. As a superintendent, I have just received this amended agenda. I am not familiar with the contents of this amended agenda, so I cannot agree with the changes that are being proposed.
Can I
Now,
submit it to
who
vote?
put together this? I'm sorry, I don't understand, because my understanding is we hire staff in the district to sit with the president of the board, the superintendent, business administrator, and put together these agendas, present it to the board, and we vote, whether up, down, or whatever sideways we're gonna vote. And this was put together, I don't understand who put this together if no one from the administration put it together. Can anyone answer that? Can anyone answer that, please?
Roll call, please.
No one? Okay.
There's a motion for roll call.
Mr. Kennedy, Madam President.
Can we go with the motion, please?
Although there is a motion in a second, let's be respectful one of each other, okay? Although we may not agree on everything we do, we have to be respectful, okay? We do have a right to make comments prior to the vote, okay? We do have a right to make comments. So let's not cut each other down by not allowing each other to speak. Let's be respectful. We're not moving the people's agenda when we don't allow each other to speak. Mr. Pereira had the floor. He was recognized. He has an opinion. I think we should all be able to express our opinion if we're going to be sincere in saying that we're going to work together and move the agenda forward. Okay? It is our right to have a say. So please, let's not rush to judgment. We just got a new agenda. I haven't even looked at it, so I can't say that anybody in good faith has given me a new agenda and expects me to support it. That is incredibly wrong. Okay, so that goes contrary to everything that Mr. Rodriguez just went on and read in his statement. Okay, to come in here and prepare an agenda, just drop it on in front of us, and then just push and rush to a vote. Quite frankly, I don't think it's legal for you to prepare an agenda. Now, if somebody could tell me and give me a legal advice, can I?
You're correct, Mr. Trujillo. It is not legal.
And then, I'm very concerned that someone would come here, prepare this agenda. I don't know, Mr. Neuron, you gave me this agenda. Did you prepare this agenda, Mr. Neuron? You gave it to me, sir. I don't know. Did you prepare it? But did you prepare it is my question. You prepared it? Yeah. Okay, so you're saying yes, you prepared it. What gives you the right to prepare an agenda? I don't have a right to prepare an agenda. We don't have a right to prepare an agenda.
We're just, it's not a preparing of an agenda, Mr. Trujillo. This is just presenting you with resolutions that we're going to present ahead of time so that...
Well, there's a process for that, Mr. Rodriguez.
That's correct.
There's a process. You can propose a resolution,
which we will be doing.
You can do, but just to rewrite a whole agenda, Madam President, in all sincerity, I think it absurds what we're doing here. The agenda I came here prepared to support, and vote on was prepared by the outgoing president along with the superintendent, and that's the way it's done. Let's not start changing the rules and get ourselves to all other kind of legal problems. Okay? It's not fair to change the rules in the middle of the game. There's a way of doing this. There's a right way of doing this. Okay? I understand that the newly elected commissioners are part of a majority. I respect that. I am willing to respect your majority and even willing to work with you. But I will not support destroying the system.
Teach,
Okay, there
don't
has to be
preach.
some principles here.
Teach,
Okay?
don't preach.
Sir, I was voted to this position and have the right to this microphone, okay? Thank you, Madam President.
I remember, can I make another comment, please? I remember last night, we had a meeting last night, and a couple board members said that always, that perception is key. That they went to these trainings, which we all go to as board members, and that in part of that training, perception was key. What's the perception? Something that was prepared by no one in the administration. We pay these people to do that. I don't have the knowledge to do so. We elected a superintendent, that's the head of our district. We have people, the business administrator that's here to run it. He provides us his recommendations with the superintendent. Put together by whatever president it is. In this case, it was, I guess, the exiting president, Tony Montero. And then we vote yes or no. The fact that this agenda came up, I would be interested to see what the vote would be, because if I'm just seeing it now, that means everyone on this table should have just seen it now. And I just don't understand how I can vote for all this. I'm seeing what it is, and if some of you could understand what this exactly is essentially,
Mr. Burr.
it's essentially appointing
Mr. Burr.
contracts to
Mr. Burr.
attorneys and companies that support political bosses. That's exactly what it is.
Mr.
And
Burr.
they come in here and they say that they want to talk about the kids, that they want to do it for the kids. It's not about the kids. It is not about the kids. You can boo me, but it's not. That goes contrary to what I just heard from his whole statement. He just told me that he's here for the kids. And here we come and we get shown that the fact that none of the people that we pay to do their job is even here. What do we have our superintendent and our business administrator for?
I don't know.
It's my personal opinion. Yes, they did, and I'm here.
Mr. Burr, to your point.
I think it's wrong. If you guys don't think it's wrong, then I mean, it's my opinion, but I think it's wrong.
Well,
I was
think
presented with an
it's
agenda
wrong.
that was not put together by anyone of this administration, so I can't agree with it. I can't.
Madam President, if I may, this agenda is not only wrong, it's illegal. Okay, this is not the process. Okay, if I find, from what I understand from counsel, okay, it's an illegal agenda. It's illegal for us to vote on it. Okay, I suggest that we don't vote on it. There isn't anything here that cannot be moved forward on another day. This should be done the right way. We have to respect the process. Despite having our disagreements, we must respect the process.
Mr.
In
Trujillo.
order for government to work, Mr. Neuron, we have to respect the process.
That's fine. And prior to the meeting, we got legal counsel from your counsel, from our counsel, that said we could amend the agenda. And we put a motion on the floor to amend the agenda. That's why we consulted Mr. Edelstein to amend the agenda.
If that's the case, Mr. Neuron, I need clarification, because I just asked.
Madam Superintendent, did we not get legal counsel? Opinion from legal counsel? Yes, we did, right?
Mr. Neuron, the attorneys are here, we could ask them.
I don't know that I gave it.
Madam President, can you please move the vote?
To respond to Mr. Neuron's question, as far as I'm concerned, any board member may make a motion to amend any item on the agenda, and if that motion is seconded, then the motion to amend the agenda should be voted on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edelstein.
Madam President, can you please move the vote? Please, roll call.
I'm sorry, I didn't see who made the motion and who seconded it.
I second the motion to amend the agenda. The president made the motion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To vote on the motion to amend the agenda. Bathless,
Yes.
Carvajal,
Yes.
Castilla. No. Fajardo,
No.
Naran,
Yes.
Pereira,
No.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trujillo,
No.
Amin.
Yes.
Can I have the agenda so we can vote on the agenda, the amended agenda?
Mr. Kennedy, you don't have the agenda?
No, I don't know where to go from here as far as taking us through the agenda.
I'll give you my agenda. Madam President, may I say a few words? I've been trying to be very quiet here.
Okay.
I don't know if you could explain to the public that this is a meeting of the Board of Education and that respect has to be given to everyone. So I appreciate it. I'd just like to say to all the board members here, Madam President, that this is a very dangerous precedent. Very, very dangerous. We have here elected officials who have sworn to uphold the laws. And for anyone to come up here and just, now we already voted to amend the agenda, but I'm trying to explain to all the board members that this could end up in a big mess. So I suggest if you're not sure what you're going to do, you better be careful, everyone. And a no vote is the right vote.
Roll call, please.
What are we voting on?
We took the vote already.
Number 4, adoption of rules of government.
Thank you.
Number 4, adoption of rules of governance.
Just give me 1 second.
Roll call.
1 second. We need somebody to move that,
I move,
the resolution to adopt the existing rules of governance.
I move to adopt the existing rules of governance.
Second.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Bathless,
Is this the rules of government? Were there any changes made yesterday?
No, this is the amendment.
Okay. Yes.
Carvajal,
Yes.
Castilla,
Yes.
Fajardo,
This is just to adopt the rules of governance as we have them presently. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Yes.
Naran,
Yes.
Pereira,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trujillo,
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Madam President, may I have the floor, please?
Yes.
We just voted to adopt the rule of governance. I hope that we guide ourselves under these rules of governance. You have attorneys here that have to guide us according to these rules of governance. So any vote, legal Legal counsel, please make sure that any vote that is not properly conducted, that it be so noted so that we do not break the rules or the law.
Any other comments?
Would you like me to continue going through the revised agenda?
Okay. So, 5, election of representatives to Union County Educational Service Commission.
That one we need someone to be appointed from the board.
Can that be done another day, or it has to be done?
No, this one we have to do.
Madam President? I'd like to make a motion for Elsie Ospina Castillo to be the representative to Union County Educational Services Commission.
I second that.
Roll call, please.
Bathelus.
Yes.
Carvajal. Castillo.
I'm honored to serve again in that committee.
Fajardo.
Yes.
Nera.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
The fifth and sixth order of business, the fifth being the appointment of standing committees. That doesn't need to be done, but that's done by the board president. And
Yes, I will provide the information by next week about the committees.
okay, and also for the sixth order of business, there's 3 representatives that need to be the New Jersey School Boards Association, Urban School Boards Association, and Union County School Boards Association.
I will do it by next week as well.
Thank you.
Madam President?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion. I believe it's for the Board of Education members, and also Mr. Kennedy, it's on the 3rd page. I would like to make a resolution. It says, I'll read it here, Board of Education resolution to abolish the legal department. Whereas the Elizabeth Board of Education has spent more than any other school district in the state of New Jersey this past year in legal fees and attorney salaries, and the board is desirous of substantially reducing its legal fees and utilizing a portion of those saved funds primarily for the improvement of the educational services for all of its students across the district. Now, therefore, be resolved that A, the in-house legal department shall be abolished effective immediately. Number 1, abolishment of positions effective immediately. A, supervising general counsel / board counsel. B, associate counsel. C, investigator, full and part-time positions. D, legal secretary. Section B, all of the employees in the positions in above mentioned, except those who hold the position of legal secretary, shall be deemed non-renewed effective immediately January 7th, 2015, and shall, within the next 3 work days, contact the business administrator / board secretary, Mr. Kennedy, to make arrangements for the return of any personal items and the submission of all board property. Any accrued, unused vacations shall be approved for payment at the February board meeting or subsequent meetings. Section C, the 3 legal secretaries shall report effective January 8th, 2015 to Mr. Kennedy, the business administrator, who will be responsible for assigning these secretaries temporarily to fill any vacant school-based secretarial position at no change in salary until their seniority and bumping rights have been determined. I so move this resolution. I also want to let the public know that we faced a difficult budget year where a lot of people had to suffer, and we're going to attempt to put money back into those areas of need, to get services back to the community. I can't promise you where it goes. I'm only one person. We'd have to get the majority, but we all know that there are a lot of busing needs, and there are a lot of special ed needs and other needs in the district. Not just
I second that motion.
and to take, and like we said, it must be student-first decisions. Thank you.
Madam President, there are 12 resolutions on the amended agenda. Madam
I would
President,
like to make a comment.
Madam President, there are 12 resolutions on the amended agenda. If the board wishes, they could bundle them together and have one vote on all 12 resolutions.
Thank you.
Before we vote, can I make a comment, please? Can I make a comment?
We have a first and
I'd like to make a
a
comment.
second, but the board president hasn't asked for any comments.
Can I make a comment, Board President? Thank you. So I guess I'm going to try to translate into plain English what that resolution read. Even though, I mean, it's important because everyone, it's great to sit here and read something that sounds righteous when it has a secondary meaning. When the legal department was created, it was created because there was excessive expenditures because you had to have lawyers handle cases, and every lawyer gets paid an hourly fee. And we brought him in, we created I'm sorry, I have the floor and I would like to just please respectfully just hear me out and thank you. And in order to manage cases in-house and not have to pay attorneys hourly fees to handle cases, which is more costly, that's why the legal department was created, and that's why we have attorneys that are in-house paid a salary and not an hourly wage, as most attorneys do. Now, part of this resolution, once this legal department is abolished, secondary resolutions that you're going to hear soon are to hire attorneys that are going to get paid an hourly fee in order to handle the cases that are going to still be here. They're not going away. They're not going to go away. You're still going to have to expend money, and it's going to be more expensive. It's not going to be cheaper. So if Mr. Rodriguez would like to make it sound like he's righteous and he's trying to save the kids money, it's not. We've gone through this before. This board has done it time and time again, and for years. It happened. It was spending excessive amounts of money on lawsuits. And many of the attorneys that are actually on the list, which is funny, are a lot of the attorneys that were representing the clients that were suing the board. So, just so you understand, the resolution says to close the department because they want to save money. Yes, they will save the money of the salaries, but once you put that workload to hourly wage people, you're going to have an over-the-top expenditure. So I don't know how mathematically, whatever the assumption was here is correct. It's excessively, to me, it's wrong. It's going to expend more capital from the school's budget and the money that is supposed to go to our teachers and our students and the district. So I don't understand how you could claim that it's going to save money. It has no valid, to me, proof mathematically. Math is 1 + 1 = 2. So it's not going to work. I don't understand. I can't support it. Thank you.
Madam President. Madam President.
I would just like to consult Mr. Edelstein or Mr. Lehman because it's my understanding that the board does not have the authority to abolish the legal department because it involves many personnel actions that requires the superintendent's recommendation, and I have not provided those recommendations, but I'd like to defer to Mr. Edelstein and Mr. Lehman for their advice.
That was going to be my question. Thank you.
Could I piggyback that and then you could answer it completely? To me, I know that the Board of Education has the authority to abolish departments. So while this is not a personnel move, what we are doing is amending the chart of organization, and therefore the Board of Education, obviously in my opinion, has the ability to remove entire departments. So I wouldn't categorize it as a personnel move. I'd categorize it as more of we have the authority to change and amend the chart of organization that has been approved by the county superintendent.
Mr. Edelstein? Mr. Edelstein, I would like to hear a professional opinion.
Sure. So this is a question that comes up frequently at school districts, the interaction between organizational changes and personnel changes. So if the board were considering a resolution that made only an organizational change and had no personnel implications whatsoever, Mr. Rodriguez would be completely correct. Since this resolution, both in its practical effect and in its language, has lots and lots and lots of personnel actions embodied within it, the board doesn't have the prerogative. The one thing that I think all school lawyers would agree on is that personnel actions, save one, which is the hiring of a superintendent, personnel actions must occur on the recommendation of the superintendent. The board has no initiative in this by statute and many, many, many decided cases. So the superintendent may make recommendations for the elimination of positions, for the termination of employees, for the transfer of employees, for the redistribution of who secretaries report to, for eliminating staff. All those things, as contrasted to changing an organization chart that has no personnel implications, must occur only on the recommendation of the superintendent. Now, I should add that when the superintendent makes recommendations, the board is not obligated to accept them. Come May, which is when superintendent recommendations by statute are made for renewals, if the superintendent recommends that a non-tenured person be renewed, the board is absolutely free to vote no on that, and that person is then no longer employed. But this resolution, whether acted on or not acted on, whether passed or not passed, is unlawful and would have no effect at all.
Thank you, sir.
May I make a comment? If we were to, not that we would, but if we were to amend, if I were to present a resolution that just abolishes the legal department, period, would that take care of the personnel issues?
No, because you can't abolish the legal department without having a corresponding personnel effect. This isn't like moving the teachers from school A to school B, where the teachers are a fungible commodity because they all have the same job description. You have people in the legal department who have no job description other than to work in the legal department, so their employment is necessarily ended if the legal department is abolished. That's why you can't do it. It has to occur on recommendation of the superintendent.
Any other comments?
So do we still vote on this? I'm sorry. To me, it sounds, I don't understand. How do we vote on something that's not legal?
Well, if that question is addressed to me, my suggestion would be that you not vote on it. But what I'm telling you is even if you do vote on it, it's not going to have any effect because it's an unlawful resolution.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
I believe as board secretary, I am allowed to make a comment. So I'd like to make a comment. The way it is written, particularly item C, where the legal secretaries are being assigned to me to figure out what to do with the secretaries as a result of this resolution. In our organization, as Mr. Elstein said, all the recommendations come through the superintendent and our HR department. I'm not capable of deciding which secretaries go where. So I'd just like to point that out before we take the roll. Bathalis.
Yes.
Carvalho. Yes. Castillo.
No.
Fajardo.
No.
Naron.
Yes.
Rare.
No.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Abstain?
Amin.
Yes.
That's 5 yeses, 3 noes, and 1 abstention.
So, Mr. Kennedy, since I was asked, my instruction to you would be that resolution is of no force and effect. It violates the superintendent's statutory rights.
So the previous vote was a total illegal vote?
Yes.
Move the agenda, Madam President. Move the agenda.
The resolution for official results of the school board election held on November 5th or November 4th.
Move the resolution.
Second?
Somebody gonna read it?
No, we don't need to read it, we just need to vote on it.
It's once every 3 years.
Madam President, you need to indicate who made the motion and who seconded it, and ask if there's any discussion.
Second.
No, who made the motion?
I made the motion.
I seconded it.
And Mr. Pereira second.
And now you need to ask if there's any discussion.
Moved by Trujillo, second by Pereira. Any comments?
Roll call. Bathalis.
Yes.
Carvajal.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Fajardo.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Madam President? Thank you. I would like to make another resolution. Board of Education resolution, appointment of general counsel. Recommended that the Elizabeth Board of Education retain the firm of LaCourte, Bundy, Varity, and Kinsella as general counsel, with a Mr. Robert F. Varity as the primary counsel, in accordance with the fee schedule on file in the Office of the School Business Administrator, Board Secretary, and consistent with all applicable state statutes and regulations effective immediately. Mr. Varity shall immediately assume the responsibilities of General Counsel for this reorganization 2015 meeting. Further recommended, consistent with the accountability regulations, the General Counsel shall be responsible for assigning, reviewing, and directing the work of all outside attorneys. Further recommended, this appointment shall be in effect from today until the reorganization meeting of 2016. I so move this resolution.
Second.
Mr. Rodriguez moved the resolution. Mr. Neron second. Any comments?
Yes, I have a comment. And I guess it's a question more to either our legal counsel or Mr. Edelstein as well, legal counsel. My understanding is our current legal counsel is Mr. Lehman, and he's still sitting here, and to my understanding, the last abolishment of the legal department did not pass, and therefore, how do we appoint a secondary general counsel to a seat that's already filled?
Mr. Lehman is indeed the general counsel. He's a full-time employee of the district in that position. This district has no such position as outside general counsel. It has a number of outside special counsel.
So, I mean, to my end, to understand, I guess this is, so whatever we spend already on the legal department and Mr. Lehman as acting as our general counsel through his position, we're adding a secondary cost with this.
There is no position of general counsel. One would have to be created by this board before you could fill it.
Okay. And it's not part of our.
It's not part of the budget.
Moreover, it's not part of your policy. Your policies describe who the general counsel is.
Mr. Ellerstein, I'm reading here a memo that was sent out by your office regarding Mr. Rodriguez.
It's my memo.
Yes, your
It's
memo.
not from
Sorry.
me.
Yes, by Mr. Rodriguez. He's not even allowed to make such a motion or participate in such a vote, according to this legal opinion that was sent out here that the public did not care to listen to.
That's correct.
Any other comments? Roll
So,
call,
yes,
please.
my question, another question is, so if in essence this is voted on tonight, it's again another nullified vote because it's not part of our policy, it's not part of our budget, it's not on our table of organization. I don't understand, I guess, a lot of these things, and this is what happens when you bring forth an agenda that hasn't been discussed with our superintendent, with our business administrator, and with anyone else in the administration. They have no clue what the hell they're doing. So, go ahead, I'm sorry, that's it.
Madam President, may I? I'd just like to say that to the members of this Board of Education that you either have to go no on this resolution, and if you're not sure, especially to the people that head our Board of Education, the President and the Vice President, you better be careful how you vote on this. Better be careful how you vote on this, because you were just told by legal counsel that this is illegal. So if you're not sure what you're doing, be very careful.
Roll call, please.
Once again, I do have the right to make a comment, and I'd like to make a comment also. From what I saw that was handed out to the board, it's indicating that I'm being directed to not basically record under certain circumstances the vote of Mr. Rodriguez. So I would have to ask legal counsel, is that carrying over to this particular resolution before us now?
Yes, it is.
Don't we have a motion on the table?
We do, but it was in
Yes, but Ms.
discussion.
Cavallo, we weren't privy like you were to this agenda, so I'm sorry if we have some questions.
This is the first time I see this agenda, Mr. Pereira.
Can we recall Mr. Kennedy?
Roll call, certainly. Bathelus,
Yes.
Carvajal,
Yes.
Castillo, Fajardo,
No.
Nera,
Yes.
Pereira,
No.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Trujillo,
No.
Amin.
Yes.
Based on that advice, and Mr. Rodriguez's vote doesn't count, we have a 4-4 tie.
Yeah, can I speak to that real quick? Just to let the public know also, what we were given is, yes, I am president of my local education association at a place that I teach at, Watson Hills Regional High School. Proudly, I've been the president there for 3 years, where I fought for my members and also the education of my students at that high school. What we were presented with today was they believe, in their legal opinion, like I said, it's just an opinion like mine and theirs, they're more learned, that that causes a conflict of interest. I've done much research through NJEA and also through School Boards Association that nothing precludes me from being a member, voting on anything. The only thing that I have by law that I cannot do is I cannot sit on negotiations for contracts here in this city, in this Board of Education. I can only vote on the final product. We have two also Board of Ed commissioners presently here that have many family members that are union members, that have many family members that are union members here. They fall under that law also. They are not allowed to be at the bargaining table, like myself, but they are allowed to vote on the final product, just like I am. Once the bargaining is done, the bargaining team, I'll try to make this quick, sorry. The bargaining team of the Board of Education presents us with a final deal saying that they met with the collective bargaining units and they tell us this is what we agreed to, and then we have a vote. Only at that time may I vote on that. I cannot be part of any kind of conversation. I cannot be on that team, and that I know of. So the legal opinion that I would be compromised to any other vote other than the negotiations, or that I cannot sit as either vice president or even president of this board, has been researched by NJEA lawyers at my that I've asked for, and also some school board lawyers. So, while again it is an opinion and everyone is entitled to that opinion, I must say that that opinion, in my opinion, is not correct. Thank you.
Mr. Garrity?
Yes.
I want to call for the...
Based on the recommendation from legal, I'm being directed to ignore Mr. Rodriguez's vote. So I see a 4-4 tie on that resolution.
Mr. Kennedy, I have a question. In the ethics form that all board members are required to fill out, was this information ever disclosed to you, the affiliation of Mr. Rodriguez with his union as president of that union?
Not legally mandated, but I say it proudly.
Mr. Kennedy, I'm asking you a question.
I'm not sure what Mr. Rodriguez's forms say at this point without looking at them.
So you don't know if that information has been disclosed, because if that is the case, Mr. Rodriguez has been sitting here for a year, so based on the advice of the attorney, he has taken not only this vote here tonight, it's an appropriate, but also for a whole year. So how many votes has he been involved that he has participated that is inappropriate? That will have to be done. You will have to research that. I'm sure it's dozens and dozens and dozens of votes that he has taken, participated in discussions of personnel, et cetera, where he is the president of a local that works for the NJEA, same local that we have here. So there is a conflict. There is a huge conflict of interest. And I understand that Mr. Rodriguez and the other board members here voted that in a case of a 4-4 tie, that things stay as they are.
Mr. Kennedy, being given the fact that Mr. Farmer just stated, Mr. Rodriguez has been voting all year, so you have received a legal opinion and a recommendation. It is not bound by law or policy that Mr. Rodriguez cannot vote tonight, as he's been doing all year. So I'm recommending that we accept his vote. We accept his vote like we've been doing all year long until we get further information and allow for Mr. Rodriguez to defend himself and allow for all the proper research to be done. Because if we have hired a legal department and we have this legal department that's defending us and going by proper guidelines, it is no secret of what Mr. Rodriguez's positions are and what he does. And this is not a mystery to anyone. So all year long, now they're just bringing this up. So they allow for him to vote an entire year.
This was just brought to our attention in the last month or 2 months ago.
2 months ago, and now you bring it up?
And the
2 months ago, and now you bring it up.
The resolution, the legal opinion has been brought up, and this has been researched. Mr. Elliston, can you please comment on this?
Well, it's not my research, it's Mr. Lehman's memo, but I read it. And what it says is that there is an inherent conflict between being an official of the NJEA, this being an NJEA district, and voting on certain items that could touch labor relations, such as lawyers who handle negotiations, lawyers who handle employment issues, and so on. The fact of the matter is that the decision recognizes, and I believe it, I believe it to be the truth. I'm sorry, is someone else?
You're okay, right?
That this, and this to Mr. Neron's point, that as one of the outside labor council, I certainly had no idea that Mr. Rodriguez was the president of an NJEA local and would have raised issues a long time ago had I known that. And it's my belief that nobody else in the administration or the legal department knew it either.
I guess just,
Madam
President,
many times in private, I made it aware to many people that what I do is that as president of my local, we had this certain situation and this certain situation and how I added. And I always precluded those conversations with when or as president of my local. So to say that...
Mr. Rodriguez, the only time I've heard you say that in the past year has been when we were in the last board meeting in private session discussing matters of...
In terms of representing both constituencies...
I think you should stop lying already.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rodriguez?
Mr. Kennedy, if I may, since Mr. Lehman's position seems to be the one that's at issue here, so I'll speak. I've read your policies. Your policies are very clear that the general counsel, that would be Mr. Lehman, renders advice to the administration. No matter what else anyone has said, it's your responsibility to follow the advice given by Mr. Lehman.
And like I was saying, there's no issue with serving two different constituencies, because I fight for my members in Watchung Hills, and I fight for the public here in Elizabeth. And it makes me a better board member knowing and having the knowledge as a union president of current educational trends that are coming through Trenton. And that makes me, at times, more knowledgeable on subjects than current members who have sat here for multiple decades. I'm not saying that I'm more knowledgeable in everything, not at all, but my experience helps the taxpayers and the voters of Elizabeth. And again, the only situation that I have where I cannot vote, and I'm fully aware of that, is when it comes to negotiations. And that is the only time where I cannot be included. So, Madam President, I would advise to, I guess, at this point, I'm not even sure what motion's on the floor.
Okay, I would like to call for 5 minutes recess. What? Recess. 5 minutes recess, please? No. I would like to call for 5 minutes.
Great.
5-minute reset.
Mr. Kennedy, don't we do roll call before we do that? Can we do our roll call, please?
Roll call, please.
Bathurst.
Yeah. Roll call for what? I'm sorry, what are we voting for?
Recess. Carvajal. Castillo.
Yes.
Fajardo.
This is only recess?
Yes.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Rodriguez, first and second, Mr. Leron. Any comments? Recall, please.
What is
To
the
get
vote?
back into the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Bathurst.
Yes.
Carvajal.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Fajardo.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Madam President, I have a question for you. Do you intend to open the public speaking portion anytime soon? Because I know as I walked around, there were several people that might want to comment. And it's 10 o'clock, it's cold, and if somebody in the public wants to speak, I think they should have an opportunity to.
Please sign up for any public speaking. So we are going to recognize Mr. Bob Barbieri. I would like to hear his opinion.
Why would we recognize Bob Barry? I'm sorry. Do we have a public portion of the meeting?
We have, I would like
No,
to
he was appointed
hear
legal
Mr.
counsel.
Bob Barbieri's opinion about.
My understanding is that his position is not lawful. So why would I hear his testimony?
We'll determine that, I guess, at a later point.
Well, if we're determining it at a later date, why am I listening to him right now? He did not.
I would like to hear his opinion first.
Madam President, in my opinion, Mr. Kennedy is incorrect in not counting the ballots. That the ballot of Mr. Rodriguez is valid, and it would be a 5-4 vote to remove Mr. Lehman and replace him with myself. Secondly, in regard to Mr. Lehman's January 7th, 2015 letter, which I just got and skimmed briefly, but briefly, one, I find it absolutely incredible, and I think if you read between the lines of Mr. Lehman's letter, that for anyone to represent today that they just found out about Mr. Rodriguez's position and didn't consider the issue of conflict is incredible, because in the last paragraph on the first page, Mr. Lehman said I have been directed by the legal committee of the Board of Education to determine whether the positions held by Mr. Rodriguez present a conflict of interest with his position as a board member. He doesn't say when he was directed, and I assume he was directed some time ago. Also, if you read that letter specifically states that the conflict deals with negotiations. It then goes on to say that common law conflicts of law apply, and that would apply in any case to any board member when they would have a conflict. For instance, if there was a personnel matter where the board member had a relative, under common law conflict of interest principles, they would have to disqualify themselves. And basically that's what the letter is saying, Madam President, is that Mr. Rodriguez, in regard to employment negotiation matters, must disqualify himself, but in the general matters such as these, he does not have to disqualify himself. And I believe Mr. Kennedy's position is incorrect, and that Mr. Rodriguez's vote in regard to any matter on today's agenda, or as Commissioner Fajardo had alluded to, the fact that he wished to have an investigation as to all votes by Mr. Rodriguez, is really invalid and a waste of time. One other thing I'd like to mention in regard to the discussion of legal counsel, there was some comment, I believe, by Commissioner Pereira that somehow this was a farce and somehow the appointment of counsel of a firm to represent the Board of Ed as a permanent counsel as opposed to an in-house legal counsel. My reading of the public record in regard to the amount of money spent by this school board in regard to legal counsel is that approximately $900,000 is expended each year for in-house counsel, and that includes benefits, professional dues, professional malpractice insurance, which would not be carried by the Board of Education with my appointment. Furthermore, in regard to outside counsel, in this past fiscal year, approximately $6,847,000 has been expended on an outside counsel. So the point being, if you have an in-house counsel, I agree wholeheartedly with Commissioner Pereira that the purpose of in-house counsel is to save expenses on outside counsel and to save the cost of an hourly rate or an hourly billing process item by item. But if you're spending $1 million in-house, Madam President, and then you're going to spend almost $7 million outside, that doesn't seem to make any sense. And I say that not in the spirit of decisiveness or divisiveness, but I think, you know, what's happened here is not totally fair to the new members in that apparently none of the new members were consulted. And in fact, it's my understanding that a meeting was held at the 11th hour last night to do various tasks, which probably we'll have to look at some point in time, as all members, all commissioners are aware, as Mr. Lehman's aware, my good friend Mr. Edelstein, who I've known for years, is aware, is that the Board of Education is a non-continuing entity, and that certain decisions cannot be made by an outgoing board to bind the incoming board.
Thank you. We are going to next business in the agenda.
I'd like to comment on Mr. Verity's statements. With all due respect to Mr. Verity, I think
Appointment of special counsels.
I think the legal opinion that I rendered is valid, and I disagree with Mr. Verity. And in addition, I would be happy to sit down with the board and explain to them why the legal department is an asset, not a liability. It saves the district money, it doesn't cost the district.
Madam President, may I make a comment, please? I've been here long enough to remember why we created an internal counsel department. If my memory serves me correctly, it was the opinion of the Department of Education that because there was such expenditures outside, that we bring some of this work inside and save money. So it was from the recommendation of the Department of Education to this Board of Education then that we do that. And it's also my understanding that there were substantial savings in doing it. And Mr. Verity, I don't know if you know the history or I know you quoted the current expenditures, but the previous expenditures over time were a lot higher at the time when we created it. So, although I respect your opinion and I'm sure you stand by it, I have to respectfully disagree that it does not save the district money, because in fact I believe it has, and it allowed the district not only to save money with the expenditures of attorneys, but also it gave the legal committee more of an influence when it came to legal matters that the insurance carriers would or would not decide on. So we saved a substantial amount of money in cases that would have went way beyond the threshold that the insurance carrier would have carried. So although you could just look at a number and arbitrarily say there was a big number, I think The history speaks for itself. When you compare the expenditures over history, and you compare our expenditures to other districts our size, you would know that we spend far less than a lot of those districts.
Well, Commissioner, thank you very much for pointing that out, and I'll just make this comment that I think this time next year, you'll be very happy with two things about me as your general counsel. One, the nature of the legal services provided, and two, the billings that you'll see that will be substantially less than what you're receiving now.
Mr. Kennedy, Madam President, if I may. Mr. Kennedy, I know this is our reorganization meeting, so my question to you is the Edelstein firm still our attorney as of this meeting? Because this is the reorganization. I believe their term expires.
Our current attorneys are our attorneys until they're replaced.
When does their term expire?
At the reorganization meeting.
Thank you. Madam President.
Director Negron, I believe there's a matter, an item on the amended agenda that addresses that. That's coming up next in regard to attorneys.
Okay. Madam President.
Next business in the agenda, the appointment of special counsels. Please, Jose, Mr. Commissioner, Jose Rodriguez.
Yes, Madam President, thank you. Mr. Kennedy, my legal opinion I think is valid, and as as board counsel, I'm directing you not to count the vote of Mr. Rodriguez as in this matter.
I'm sorry.
Madam President, please move the agenda.
So let me I'll make the motion. And it's the resolution. It's the resolution of appointment of special counsel. Appointment of special counsel recommended that the Elizabeth Board of Education retain the below listed attorneys as special counsel.
We're not going in order, we're going out of order?
Madam President, are you ready for special counsel?
Yes, Madam President, just
Okay.
correct. She went to this page first, correct?
Is that where you went, right?
You share it with the rest of us so we can follow along?
Appointment of special counsel.
Resolution of special counsel, appointment of special counsel recommended that the Elizabeth Board of Education retain the listed below attorneys as special counsel. D. Francisco Bateman, Cooley, Yasmin, Cusman, Davis, Lair, and Fall, PC, 15 Mountain Boulevard, Warren, New Jersey. D. Cordes, Fitzpatrick and Cole, LLP, 500 Frank, Westboro Boulevard, Suite 31, Teaneck, New Jersey. Florio Petrucci, Steinhardt and Fader, LLC, 21817 North, Suite 410, Rochelle Park, New Jersey. Regat McCarty, LLC, 37 Alden Street, Cranford, New Jersey. Weber Dower, LLC, 356 Rifle Camp Road, Woodland Park, New Jersey. Mason Law Firm, 1812 Front Street, South Plains, New Jersey. Kevin D. Harris, Esquire, 66 9th Avenue, East Orange, New Jersey. Antonio Mincello, PC, 1000 Stuyvesant Avenue, Suite 1, Union, New Jersey. Further recommended that the duties of all special counsel shall be assigned as necessary by general counsel in accordance with the fee schedule on file in the office of the school business administrator, board secretary, and consistent with all applicable state statutes and regulations. Further recommended, general counsel shall prepare a contract for each special counsel, which shall be in effect from this date until the reorganization meeting of 2016.
Second.
Any
Madam
comments?
President, if I may, I couldn't find an attorney in Elizabeth. I mean, I think it's important. There's a lot of great law firms in Elizabeth, a lot of local lawyers in Elizabeth. Senator here in the first row. There's an Elizabeth attorney. I don't know what his law firm is, but I'm sure there's a lot of great towns here, but I'm sure there's attorneys here in Elizabeth that could probably use some board business. And I think it's sad that, you would recommend all these and not find at least one good attorney from the city of Elizabeth. I see a few right in front of me here. There's plenty of good attorneys here, folks. Let's try to keep the Elizabeth money in Elizabeth as much as possible.
Any other comments?
Madam President,
Yes.
Mr. Lehman, as far as you understand, and
This vote that we're about to take is a vote that is not under the recommendation of the superintendent, and it will be an illegal vote.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Madam President, may I speak? With all due respect, who is our attorney? Who? So Bob Barrett is our attorney, that's who we need to listen to.
No, the vote was 4-4. That didn't pass.
Mr. Barrett?
We didn't even vote yet.
No, well,
Oh, you talking about the vote before?
the vote was 5-4, and you may proceed.
5-4.
My opinion is you may proceed with this resolution.
Can we move forward, please?
Mr. Kennedy, are you annulling my vote?
I've been instructed by our supervising general counsel, board attorney, to.
He was at the moment that we casted the vote.
Were you? So you were recommended, and therefore you have annulled my vote? Is that correct?
Under the direction of board counsel.
I believe when Mr. Rodriguez took his oath of office, it said that his vote would count. So until that you can prove that his vote does not count, and there's a court ruling, and a judge has determined that his vote doesn't count, his vote counts until then.
I believe we'll have a day in court on both sides, for sure.
Might I suggest that you make the vote, and as the commissioner just said, this will probably be resolved in another forum on another day.
So in all reality, what we just created was more litigation, more money that's going to be spent, taken away from education towards legal fees. And I think that's great. That's exactly what the city of Elizabeth and our children need. You got to understand something. I get what's going on here. There's a new direction that you guys want to take this board in, and that's fine. I respect that because I respect the process. But the fact that you just continue to just make up your own process as you go along is a slap in the face to even the people who voted for you, okay, that aren't here cheering on like the council president, who's probably more vocal here than she is at city council. Okay, so, quite frankly, let's have a little respect for each other and for the taxpayers, okay? This is probably going to end up in court. We understand that now, and it just really goes contrary to everything we're trying to do. If we're saying we're going to spend so much money by having an internal legal department, we're going to save money by going outside, and you're already creating a lawsuit just to get there. I mean, quite frankly, it's shameful. It's shameful.
Can we roll call, please? Roll call, please.
Bathos.
Yes.
Carvajal.
Yes.
Castillo. No. Fajardo.
No.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
No.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
No.
Amin.
Yes.
Once again, under advice of legal counsel, we have a 4-4 tie.
Madam President, again, I ask, who is our legal counsel?
I say Marietti, 5-4 votes.
Mr. Barrett, welcome aboard. Can we please move the agenda, Madam President?
I would like to make a motion to table the agenda for the next meeting, the rest of the agenda.
Second? Goes right to a roll call for table?
Can we roll call for the table?
I'm sorry, who moved it and who seconded it?
I second.
Oh, you moved it, I'm sorry. Bathos.
Yes.
Carvajal.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Fajardo.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
The smartest thing we've done tonight. Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Abstain.
Amin.
Yes.
What about, I'm sorry, what about the schedule of board meetings?
They didn't provide that in their...
Well, we just
There's a few
tabled
things
it, so we don't have any board meetings.
If I'm correct, there's a few things missing here, right? There's a school calendar that needs to be approved.
No, the school calendar, we have a school calendar through June 30th.
Okay,
But we need to approve the scheduled meetings.
okay.
So can Commissioner Rodriguez make the resolution for the school board meetings?
Sure, Madam President, thank you. I'd like to make a Board of Education resolution schedule of board meetings. Resolved that the setting of the following dates below in time, the following dates and time for the holding of the public meeting session for the ensuing year to be held at 7 p.m. in this room for the Donald Stewart Center for Early Childhood Education, 544 Pennsylvania Avenue, Elizabeth, New Jersey, 07207B, and is hereby submitted. I'll run through the dates. They're all of this year: January 14th, February 5th, February 26th, March 19th, April 23rd, May 21st, June 18th, July 16th, August 13th, September 3rd, September 17th, October 15th, November 12th, and December 10th. I so move this resolution.
Second. Any comments?
Yes, I have a comment. Can I understand the idea behind having 2 meetings in February and September? We generally have one scheduled.
Because usually in the beginning of the school year, we have a lot of business. So it's better to have 2 meetings in September.
I might understand that one. I just wanted to know. I think actually it works better if we do it before September, during the July months in the summer, while we have no kids in the schools, so we can move the agenda to half and be ready for schools when they open in September.
Okay, we can have that.
Suggestion. And then the second suggestion is, why is there 2 meetings in February? That was my second question.
We can have that discussion later, absolutely.
Sorry?
No, it's a good discussion to have, but I think we can have that later.
Well, I'm about to vote.
Okay. And
So if no answer, you just have no answer?
Who was the second on that?
I second.
You second? Bathelus. Carvajal. Castillo.
No.
Fajardo.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
No.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Abstain?
Amin.
Yes.
You need to read the public statement now? Public
Can
statement.
you read it, Jose?
Yes, Madam President, yes. I don't have a copy of the public participation statement. You have that copy and I can read it, gladly read it.
Can you read it, Mr.?
It's on the front page. Do you have that?
Yeah, I just don't have it probably with all the moving around and all. Thank you, Madam President. Well, I just want to make sure I read the correct statement. Okay, thank you. At this time, the microphones are open for public comment to those who have signed in prior to the session. I shall call individuals to the microphone based on the order of the sign-in. Actually, Madam President will call them up. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes in duration. The total time of public comment shall be limited to 60 minutes. No individual is able to yield their time to another individual. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No participant may address or question board members individually. The following rules for public participation shall apply. Time limits will be strictly enforced. No personal attacks on individuals. No vulgar or indecent language. A person may address the board no more than once during a single meeting. Speakers should refrain from naming individuals. Comments or questions posed during public participation will not be debated. As a reminder, this is a meeting of the board in public, not a meeting of the public.
At this time, I close the public comment portion of this meeting.
No one signed up for the public portion.
Okay. So,
Motion to adjourn?
I want to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
First motion, second, Jose Rodriguez.
Bathurst. Carvajal.
Yes.
I'll get it right. Castillo.
Yes.
Fajardo.
Yes.
Nara.
Yes.
Ferrer.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.